because look, Benzino could have been a star.
No, he couldn't have. He was trash.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Oh shit, we recording? We recording?
Yeah.
Yo, Benzino is fucking K Cam. Austin Theory is K Cam.
Oh,
Wow, that's a great. You know what? Yeah, that's a great. That is a great.
K Camp.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Let's get it started. Yo. Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with the Homies. I'm the homie Qwan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend Jay Cooley.
What's good, y'all? Yeah.
And my boy Sylvan the Don, Sylvan LaCute.
What's up? Nah, this is a Equinox smoothie, the morning ritual.
Oh, okay.
You looking a little different today, my brother.
I came back with the 96 Esco.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? You know, the It Was Written era.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey,
I got the It Was Written.
You looking like he sell packs. I thought this was belly too when I came in here. I said, Sylvan got the haircut on deck.
You know me, man. I'm wrapping up the bricks in Vaseline.
It was written. One of the best albums ever.
It was written as one of the best. That's a Qwan take right there. You sound like a purist.
It was written. It's definitely
that's
the best.
a really great album.
It's definitely the best Nas album.
Wait. It was written is better than Illmatic.
Yeah,
better than Stillmatic.
Yeah.
I look personally.
Fam.
Stillmatic. I like Stillmatic better than It Was Written, but that's personally. But objectively, It Was Written is his best album.
Y'all crazy. Y'all sound like purists right now. Godson is better than
Godson.
Yes.
Godson has Zone
Absolutely.
Out. Don't ever talk to me about
fire.
Godson, dog. Bro, Zone Out is one of the worst beats of all time, dog.
Bro,
Godson
the Lost
was fire.
Tapes is better than It Was Written.
The Lost Tapes is fire.
It's absolutely
Lost
not.
Tapes is fire,
It's
man.
not.
The Lost
Blazer
Tapes has
50?
Fetus. Y'all are talking to me about Fetus? Yo, come
Fetus.
on, man.
Drunk
And
by
Papa was
myself.
Yo, look,
Drunk
those
by
records
myself?
are great. Drunk by Myself, Papa was a player.
The Color Purple.
classic. But it has
I
Fetus.
don't know,
I don't like
man.
the way
Fetus
P
is one
Diddy
of the
did shine
worst.
with different.
But Fetus is one of the worst Nas songs of all time. Come on, man.
I can't believe this man said that. The
Hey,
Lost Tapes
side
is not
note.
better than It Was Written.
Side note, you know what Nas album is slept on? Y'all might flame me for this though.
Go say Streets of
Untitled.
Life is good.
No,
All
it's
right, so
amazing.
we're gonna get into our first top. No, I'm just playing.
No, I'm serious.
Nah, you know what?
Life is good. It's great.
I actually did like Life is
Like
Good.
it's
I like
amazing.
that
Life is Good
daughter's
was
record
praised.
was good. That daughter's
Bro,
record
it's
was
amazing.
good, and The World Is My Addiction with Anthony Hamilton. That was good.
It was a great album.
But
I mean-
but that album had Summer on Smash with Swiss Beats, and that was
Then that has Stay too, right? Stay is one of my even though
Yeah,
the first
Stay
is
was
like-
fire.
Stay is fire.
It was fire.
Yo, I just can't stay.
We really just opened up a whole wrestling podcast talking about Nas, but Nas is one
My
of the
favorite
goats,
rapper.
man.
It's one of my
This is
favorite rappers.
Nas
of all time.
Escobar.
Definitely not my
Big
favorite
R.
rapper. I'm a Hove man. Know what I'm saying great Hove, great Hove.
Ooh.
Nas
I'm
is
not
my
mad
top
at
3,
Nas.
man.
I'm not
Come
mad
on.
at Nas. But what's up with y'all, man? What did y'all do for Halloween? Nothing.
I didn't do nothing. I was at work slaving.
God.
Yeah, feel me?
Oh my God, Sylvan, what you do?
I hung out, man. I hung out.
Ooh, he
I
went
didn't go
outside.
outside. I didn't go outside.
Okay, never mind. He ain't go outside.
Relax. I didn't go outside. I kicked it with my girl's longtime college friend. We were all kicking it and just catching up on stories and stuff. So it was real wholesome night. I don't go out. I don't go out and on Halloween in Los Angeles, man. Y'all are crazy.
Nah.
It's insane out here.
Hey,
I used to,
you
but not
wanna
no
know-
more.
Look, y'all want to know how crazy it is? I actually got a story for y'all. Halloween story, baby. Halloween. So Halloween, I went out. This was not Halloween night though. This was Saturday, the Saturday before Halloween, right? So me and the homie, we go out. He dressed as Stone Cold, so he wore a what t-shirt and a vest, and he had like the WWE title, which Stone Cold ain't never been Universal Champion, but Kai, you my guy, so I'm gonna let you rock with that because he had the Universal title with the Stone Cold vest, so it's all good.
Okay.
I dressed as Tupac, right? And I think I was telling y'all about this in the group chat. I dressed as Tupac, so I had the stud nose ring. I wore the striped beanie. I had the Thug Life overalls. We go to Hollywood. Now, look, if you're not from LA, you know Hollywood is like Gotham City. It's like that's like Vegas on crack. So I'm in Hollywood, right? And I'm dressed as Pac. And obviously, you know, I'm dressed as Pac. So it's like girls coming up, they asking for pictures and stuff. I'm like, I'm cool with it. Some dude who looks like Bob Ross pulls up on a scooter. I don't think this is a Halloween costume. I think he really looked like legit is just dressed as Bob Ross. This is just how he looks. He has the big afro. And he's telling me, he's like, oh my God, I'm such a big Tupac fan. Like, can I get a picture with you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, for sure, for sure. So he take the picture. And then we walk into the bars, right? Me and the homie. He following us. The dude is following us on the scooter, just like talking our heads off, telling us his life story. Like, yeah, in 1995, you know, I was the biggest Pac fan, blah, blah, blah. And we like, yeah, cool, whatever. We go into the bar. We get drinks. We do our thing. We come out. This man is still there. He's still there on a bird scooter. And he follows us for like 4 more blocks. We go into another bar. We do our thing. We come out. Bro, Bob Ross is still outside the club on a bird scooter. He followed us like 8 blocks to the car until finally the homie Kai was just like, yo, who are you? Leave us alone, bro. Leave us like, get away from us, bro. He finally walked away, but we literally got stalked in Hollywood by Bob Ross, bro. By Bob Ross.
Qwan, he's looking at your picture right now as we speak.
Bro, and I took the picture with him. That's the thing. I took the picture. I don't know what's going to happen with that picture.
He had a phone?
No idea. Bro, he had a phone. We thought he was homeless at first because the way he was dressed, but like, I ain't gonna lie. He got close to me for the picture. He ain't smell bad, so I'm like, maybe he not homeless. He probably just a crazy dude, but like, this man followed us for like 8 blocks dressed as Bob Ross on a bird scooter for Halloween. That's the type of nights we have in LA, man.
Hollywood is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get when you go out there. I don't touch Hollywood on Halloween. No, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Hollywood ever on any type of like.
Period. I wouldn't even say a box of chocolate. Hollywood is like a bad restaurant that tastes good, but the food is just not good for your soul. Like, you eat it, you feel like shit afterwards. That's what Hollywood is. You know what you're getting when you go there, but you go there anyway.
It's like White Castle.
White Castle.
I've never had a sit-in White Castle experience. Only the Ralph's version where you get it from the freezer and you warm it up. So
that's crazy. I would never do that. I was
young. For the longest time, I didn't even know White Castle was a real thing. I thought it was just like the Harold and Kumar movies.
Bro, same. I thought it was the same. I thought, this is just something that like Harold and Kumar came up with. And then I was like, oh, this is real. This is like a real restaurant.
Is there a White Castle in like California, like LA?
No, I think it's an East Coast thing.
East Coast thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to hit it. I'm down to hit it just to see how it tastes. Because just from watching the movies, like, why not? Why not?
It's not good, bro. That is not good. It's terrible. I had it once. I was like, yo, this is disgusting.
Hey, it can't be worse than Mickey D's, man.
It is.
Even though the McDonald's fries slap, though. I'm not saying.
Yeah,
the fries and the Sprite. Worse. The Sprite go crazy. I'm not a soda drinker, but you know that McDonald's Sprite, it hit like a bomb, bro.
Well, the White Castle burgers from Ralph's taste like cucumbers and Starburst. It's a bad combination, but I was young.
Cucumbers and Starburst?
Yeah, man, we didn't have a lot, growing up. So hey, we made it do what it do.
I'm not bad at cucumbers and Starburst.
That's crazy.
But anyway, man, let's get into what we came here for, man. Let's get into that wrestling. Fellas. Y'all watched Raw, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. I watched Raw.
What you mean, unfortunately? Excuse me?
NXT was better.
Look, NXT, NXT, I caught NXT on the back end because I didn't watch it live, but NXT was better than Raw this week.
Hey.
Raw wasn't terrible. But it wasn't great.
I thought Raw was all right. Like, they had the Creed brothers debut. They went on 2-on-2 with Alpha Academy. That was dope.
Yeah,
you didn't like the Creed brothers debut?
No, it was dope. Yeah. I'm glad Creed brothers went over too.
Bro, my man Julius Creed hit a suplex while sitting down, like on his ass. He was holding Chad Gable in the air and then stood up and passed him off to his homie to hit the that type of strength. I'm not mad at it. The Creed brothers went up, man.
They went up.
Creed brothers went up.
They went up.
I thought Raw was all right. You know what I'm saying? The main event was Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest. It was cool. It was.
Who wants it? Who wants it? Come on.
All right, so look,
man.
let's not be disrespectful, man. That match, it was a good match. It was what you would expect from Sami Zayn and Damian Priest because they're two incredible wrestlers, right? But fellas, did y'all know that was the least watched WWE main event of all time?
What?
Like, this is not me speaking in hyperbole. This is not me exaggerating for the topic. This was literally the least watched WWE Raw main event of all time. 1.2 million viewers. That's it. This match
crazy.
came on TV and everybody turned the channel. Fellas, I don't think this is a testament towards Damian Priest and Sami Zayn. I don't think this is an indictment towards Damian Priest and Sami Zayn because they did their thing. They did what they could do. And, you know, we love them. We love them. Fellas, this is bad booking. Let's just call it what it is.
Here we
bad
go.
Booking. This is Triple H bad booking because, unfortunately, for the last 3 months, we've gotten some variation of Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, or Kevin Owens versus the Judgment Day as a main event for Raw. We've gotten the same variation of matches for 3 months straight because somehow, some way, Triple H believes in his mind that if he gives us the same thing every single week, we're going to continue to tune in. But unfortunately, it don't work like that. I didn't watch that main event because I had already saw it last week and the week before that and the week before that. Matter of fact, I didn't watch that main event because I'm probably going to see it again next week. There's no reason to tune in when you're giving us the same thing over and over. It's bad booking. I'm sorry. I know Triple H is the Booker of the Year. He's the Booker of the Year, but he's not booking like the Booker of the Year right now. That's terrible booking. I'm sorry. I love Triple H, but you can't give us the same thing over and over and expect different results. Like, come on, Triple H. But let's talk about the other Booker of the Year, Tony Khan, because he's making the same mistakes. But, you know, it's a little flipped. It's a little reversed because Tony Khan, let's put it like this. If WWE is making a mistake of giving us too little, Tony Khan's mistake is giving us too much, too fast. Because y'all saw the match this past Saturday. MJF versus Kenny Omega. Fire,
Classic.
right?
Classic.
Incredible. One of the best TV matches I've seen in a very long time, right? I will not say anything bad about that match. It lived up to all the hype. And MJF is that guy. Like, MJF is out there doing Fosbury flops over the top rope and Canadian destroyers. Like, MJF can do all this stuff, but he chooses not to because he's so married to his character. I love that. MJF gets it. But fellas, I had a problem with this match. And my problem with this match is that it happened on a collision in front of 470,000 people. We only have 470,000 viewers for that match. This is probably the most important match in AEW's history. Do we all agree that MJF is probably the most important wrestler on AEW's roster? Like this, he's the only homegrown star. He's the biggest homegrown star in that company, right? Kenny Omega is AEW's first ace. He's like their first biggest star that wasn't a former WWE guy. They're having their very first match. First time ever. It should be the most important thing in your company's history. This is something that you build towards. But they had no heat. They had no story. They had no prior build other than MJF wanted to break Kenny Omega's record. They threw this match out there on a random Saturday. Fellas, do y'all not have a problem with that? Because I do. If Dana White were to announce Israel Adesanya versus John Jones, do you think he would do that 2 days prior to the match? Do you think he would do that 2 days prior to the fight happening? No. He would announce that match probably, 8-9 months out. They would build towards it in press conferences. They would build towards it with video packages and promos. By the time we get to that fight, you're going to feel like you have to watch it. By the time we get to that fight, it's going to feel like must see because they have built towards it. We've seen the trash talking back and forth on Twitter. We've seen the video packages. We're going to not want to miss that. That's what a good promoter does. That's what a good booker does. Tony Khan just gave us this match on a random Saturday, and it meant nothing. We enjoyed it while it was on. We liked it. But now that it's over, are we really going to remember that? No. So Tony Khan, Mr. Booker of the Year, I need you to get it together. Mr. Triple H, Booker of the Year, I need you to get it together. Now, I want to end with this. It's very clear to me that the real Booker of the Year It's not Tony Khan. The real Booker of the year, it's not Triple H. I'm sorry. You alluded to it earlier. HBK Shawn Michaels is the Booker of the year. NXT has been the best weekly show by far every single week for like the last 4 months. Let's talk about it. Somebody give me something. Give me something.
I mean, I don't know, Cooley. You wanna speak first, or all right, cool, boom. All right, so look, this is how I feel, right? So,
tell me Triple H is dropping the ball. Tell me Triple H is not dropping the ball with the way he's booking. Tell me that you want to see these Raws with the same matches over and over.
I don't.
Lie to me. Lie to my face right now.
I don't. I agree with you, Qwan. I agree with you. I mean, last podcast I talked about how I thought that we might be overlooking the importance of Vince McMahon, and how I think that Vince McMahon has a certain eye for big name matches and how to keep things feeling like a big deal. I think that Triple H is just very idealistic. At the end of the day, he has a certain ideal of the certain the certain wrestlers that should be getting TV time, that are talented, that should be on television, that should be having competitive matches. And my whole problem with Raw is that with Raw and SmackDown to a certain degree is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of order. It just seems to be a lot of carrying. We're just carrying through the seasons. Like Crown Jewel is a pay-per-view, but we know it's not the pay-per-view. Some decisions might be made, but we're just trying to get to Crown Jewel. And then we're trying to get to the next pay-per-view. And we're really just trying to get to WrestleMania. I think sometimes Hunter is so focused on the larger vision that he forgets that we still have to have really big moments every pay-per-view to a certain degree. And these Raws just feel like lazy in a lot of ways. And it also feels like he's trying to create the seeds, in my opinion, for the new stars or the stars that he believes in to start breaking through. But the reality is that we're not that invested. And there's not enough going on that's interesting enough for us to really give that a chance, i.e. why Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest is a snooze fest. It's a snooze fest because, number one, Damian Priest isn't even the most interesting person in Judgment Day. He's the third, maybe the fourth least interesting person on Judgment Day. Let's just keep it a beam.
He might be the fifth at this point.
He might be the fifth.
JD McDonough might have lapped him.
JD is getting whooped beautifully. Like, it's to a point where I want to see how bad JD can take an ass whooping, bro. It's just like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, so we have the least important person on Judgment Day going against a directionalist Sami Zayn. Like, literally, like, Sami Zayn doesn't have any real direction right now. Right now, he doesn't. Let's just keep it a stack.
I feel like from those promos he's cut, they're kind of leaning in the direction of Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble. I don't know if I agree with that decision, but that's just what it seems like for me.
I'm not saying that that's not the case. If that is the case, then so be it. I mean, Sami Zayn is a great underdog babyface. They're not going to pull the trigger on him, so this is all going to be for naught. I don't believe they're
for the world title. Why not?
Nah, I don't believe they're going to do it. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but he's directionalist, and people are looking at him as if, okay, he doesn't really have anything to do. He just left KO. He's going to stand on his own. Okay, cool. And we haven't really had a chance to really sink our teeth into Sami Zayn's plight. This is the beginning. So I see why a Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest as the main event of Raw is the least watched pay-per-view in Raw history, because this is
main event, bro.
I mean, pay-per-view. Main event. Sorry about that. Main event in Raw history. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about it. Nobody wants it. That is a mid-card match. That is a mid-card match. I'm sorry.
I can't say it's a mid-card match.
Yes, it is, Qwan. It's a mid-card match.
That could be a main event match. That's main event level talent.
Qwan. It's a mid-card match. You're not going to tell me that could be a main event match.
It's main event level talent. The problem is that we've seen it. We've seen Sami Zayn and Damian Priest in that ring like 30 times in the last 2 months.
But there's been a lot of matches like that though. For like, this is history with WWE. They do that constantly. It's a repetitive thing. But I think it's the point that it's Sammy. Like, he's not interesting right now, per se, as he was with the Bloodline. And also, I was watching the Rangers versus the Diamondbacks. I'm sorry, I did not tune in to no Sami Zayn and Damian Priest. I'm sorry. I wanted the Rangers to win. You know, I'm tuning in.
And that's another problem. That's the other problem. Triple H. You got to make these shows interesting if you want us to tune in, because the competition on Mondays is stiff. Like, we had the World Series going on. We also had Monday Night Football going on, and it's like, why am I going to choose watching Raw over Monday Night Football when this match is something that I've seen 4 times already? This match is something that I'm probably going to see next week and the week after that. We're probably going to see this match on the pre-show at Crown Jewel this weekend. It's like, you're giving us the same matches over and over and expecting us to tune in. With competition like that, like Triple H, come on, man. I know you Booker of the Year, quote unquote, to a lot of people, but this type of booking ain't doing it for me. I'm sorry. This
could have been my first time watching the match, and I wouldn't have tuned in. I don't care to see Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn as my main event of Raw. That's not a main event match. It's not. It's really not. It's really not. It's a mid-card match at best. Also, when I look at Judgment Day, there's just too many variations of what could possibly happen with their feuds and who they're going against. There's just so many different plot holes and plot twists that Hunter is setting up. And I understand why he's doing this, right? Like, this is very Attitude Era of him. Yeah, I remember the DTA, Don't Trust Anybody era with Austin trying to figure out who ran him over, and it was involving like 7 different wrestlers all in the same angle. I fully get what Hunter is doing. Like, I get it, you know, and on a certain level,
I don't think Hunter gets what he's doing.
On a certain level, I'm saying I understand what he's trying to do, but it's like, bruh, like you said, Qwan, like, I don't think he understands that there's still a payoff that has to happen. There's still something that needs to connect, that we need to be interested in right now in order for us to tune into these shows. And as far as Tony Khan goes, because I don't want to skip out on Tony Khan. Please don't let me skip out on Tony Khan.
Oh,
Tony Khan.
We're definitely not skipping Tony.
Tony Khan is like, you know, and no disrespect to Gucci, but it's like Gucci Mane to me, where Gucci just drops project after project after project after project. And it's at a certain point, you know, his core is going to be satisfied. And, you know, we all might tap in and be like, yo, got a few dope records on here. But Gucci has dropped so many projects, and some of them have been really good, but with little to no build up. And it's like, if we could have just focused on one for 6 months and build it out and have a whole entire rollout where we could be excited for a Gucci Mane project, the payoff would be so much bigger. But we get so many of these projects that it's just like, oh yeah, another Gucci Mane project. And that's how I feel about Tony Khan. Of course, he's going to give us Kenny Omega versus MJF on Collision with little to no buildup, because he's given us so many incredible matches that should have had buildup, that if they really had just 2 or 3 months, would have been astronomical. But I think Tony Khan is also desperate, unlike Gucci Mane, because Gucci Mane is satisfied. You know what? Forget desperate. I think he's comfortable, just like Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane is comfortable. What has Gucci Mane not done? What has he not achieved? He's healthy. He can do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't have to do a build for an entire project if he doesn't want to. He's Gucci Mane. He's done everything. Tony Khan's a billionaire. Why does he need to build out a match to sell tickets? That's just me. I'm just throwing that out there.
He
sounds like Future too.
Short, man.
Right.
I just feel like Tony Khan, when it comes to Tony Khan, he's selling his product short by booking that way. Like, you're giving us these dream matches, quote unquote, for free with little to no build. It's like, to me, that's bad booking. That's bare minimum. Like, anybody can do that. Cooley could go pick 2 great wrestlers from the roster right now and say, oh, put them in a match for the main event. That's fantasy booking. That's easy. That's bare minimum. A good booker is supposed to get the audience invested in that match. Give us some Give us a story. Give us something to latch on to and look forward to. I feel like Tony Khan forgets a lot of time that the appeal is in the build. The appeal is in the anticipation. When we anticipate a match for months and months and months, when that day finally comes, we feel like we can't miss it. Like Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, I called off work. I literally had to work that day, and I said, I made the decision, you know what? This build was so crazy that I feel like I can't miss this match. So I'm just going to call off work. I'm going to call the homies and have them come over to the crib, and we're going to watch this show. We're going to watch this show specifically for this Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns match. But the reason it felt that way is because we built towards that for months and months and months. There were so many layers to that story that when we finally got to that point, it just felt like we couldn't miss it. And when it comes to Kenny Omega, someone as important as Kenny Omega and someone as important as MJF, it feels like when we're missing a story and we're just having that match for the first time ever and a random one-off on Collision, you're selling your product short. You're not only selling your product short, but you're selling your audience short. You're doing us a great disservice by giving us that for free with little to nothing behind it.
To play devil's advocate. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go Sylvan. No, I was going to say that was
Cooley's about to give me props. Go ahead.
No, I was, but then also I was going to say that was definitely like a pay-per-view match. Like I don't understand his angle. I really think, AEW been around for 5, 6 years. I really think Tony Khan is still in his fandom stage and he's not grown out of that yet. So like we all can fantasy book, and I feel like that's what he's doing right now. And I don't think he'll ever grow, to be honest. I don't think he cares about any build. He just cares about seeing numbers and, competing with the place across the hall. So I don't know.
And look, to piggyback on what Cooley said, that's not just a pay-per-view main event. That's like an all-in main event. That's like a main event in Wembley. That's like the biggest match in wrestling.
But to play devil's advocate, right? And I gotta give Tony props. Like I tuned in to watch MJF versus Kenny Omega because I did. It was a main event. It was a main event match.
Sylvan, be honest with me, my brother.
I did, bro. I did.
No. Sylvan. Wait. Sylvan, be honest with me. You watched that live? You didn't watch it on the watch,
bro. I watched it live. It was the only.
You didn't catch the watch wrestling.
It was the only. It was the only thing. It was
that link was in the chat
that I watched. It was the only thing I watched. I did not watch that show. Let's just keep it a stack. Let's keep it a stack.
All right.
I didn't watch that show. I did not watch that show, but I did watch that main event.
The show was fire.
Why did I watch? Yeah, it was a main event. Now it should have been a pay-per-view main event. But when I think about Raw, the way that Hunter is booking Raw, it's almost as if he can't put anybody that's huge against anybody else that's huge on a main event of Raw. He can't. It's almost like because of the things that they're trying to do to get to these pay-per-views, they can't seem to make main events on Raw or SmackDown that seem like a big deal. Am I wrong about that?
So, yeah, I feel like there's a happy medium here that needs to be met because, like I said, it feels like Triple H is trying to avoid certain matchups because he knows that they could be bigger. So you don't want to just give away those for free. So they're trying to avoid certain matchups, and because of that, we end up getting the same thing over and over. Whereas Tony Khan is trying to give us everything all at once. So we need to find some type of medium. And like I said, the person that I feel like has met that medium has been HBK. And that's why Shawn Michaels is my Booker of the Year.
Definitely.
But I think we need Vince back, baby.
Oh, we definitely don't need Vince back. But I think that that face, that smile, this evil smile that Sylvan had. I think we got to admit something, man. I think we got to admit that Triple H don't really know what he's doing with the Judgment Day. I think that they were clear.
I don't know about that.
Hear me out.
I don't know. I don't know. Come on, man.
Hear me out. It was very clear at one point that, Damian Priest was going to split from the Judgment Day. It was written. I fully believe in my heart that it was written. He won that Money in the Bank briefcase, and like Nas, it was written. Damian Priest was going to get the boot from the Judgment Day, but it seems like Triple H kind of got cold feet on that and kind of backed off a bit. So now we got the whole JD McDonough dynamic. We got Judgment Day feuding with 8 dudes all at once and having the same variation of matches every week. And it seems like there's really no end game right now because Triple H doesn't know the end game. And I could be wrong. Maybe Triple H has this all written out in his office and he knows exactly what he's doing. But to me, the viewer, it seems like he don't know how to end this. He don't know how to end it, so he just keeping the wheels rolling until he figures it out.
I swear Finn Balor was going to go against Damian at one point, and I don't know what happened.
They dropped it.
I think a lot of this was because of Vince's involvement.
Yeah.
And I think Vince was the one who was really pushing for the divide. And I think once Vince got pushed out of creative, we've seen massive changes. Raw is totally different than it was 3 months ago.
It's a different
it's a completely different show. And when I look at Judgment Day, I don't think that Hunter doesn't necessarily know what to do with them, but I do think there's a larger issue at play, which is it kind of feels like everyone's a little directionalist right now. Nobody's really doing anything that really matters, if we're really being honest. It's just a lot of Easter eggs and things being planted here and there, but it's not anything that feels like urgent. None of this is really urgent for us to really tune into. I can skip Raw. I feel like I can
and
skip
not have
Raw.
missed anything.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously
same show.
Yeah, and obviously I'm not going to skip SmackDown because the Bloodline, right? The Bloodline, and that's 3 years.
It's different over there.
There's 3 years. Literally, there's 3 years of story that has been built into me tuning into the Bloodline every single week on SmackDown. But as far as Raw goes and the rest of SmackDown, everything seems pretty pointless. Nothing seems like it's urgent. Nothing seems like I need to tune into this. Nothing seems like this is going to lead to something that's important. But also, I'm going to give Hunter the benefit of the doubt. He is cooking. He has been newly cooking under the Endeavor deal with him being head of creative. So I'm not going to count him out completely. And I've learned with time, especially when it comes with wrestling, to be patient. Because, boy, have I been wrong on so many things when I should have just sat back and seen what was going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what else y'all wrong on? That boy Punk showing up in 10 days,
it's not happening. Please
He's not showing up. Yo, if he shows up in 10 days, yo, oh, my God. Cooley, you got to spaz on both of us, dog.
Hey,
he's not.
At this point, Bob Ross might pop up on a scooter. Like,
you got a podcast?
Bro, I can't believe that happened. I cannot believe that happened. I was like, bro,
that's scary.
Leave me alone.
That's scary.
That's because Qwan, that's because you are a pleasant guy, Qwan. Yeah, you are. You're a really nice person.
Ladies, I'm a very nice guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are a very pleasant man.
He just hit y'all with the Val Venus. That's crazy. What is going on?
And look, and before we get out of this topic, I do want to keep the same energy because I know how AEW fans are when we talk about, giving us matches with no build. So I got to keep the same energy with Hunter. I love that Gunther versus Bronson Reed match. That was a dope match. One of my favorite WWE matches in probably the last decade. But Bronson Reed versus Gunther, that's a WrestleMania level match. That's a match that should have build going into it. That's a match that should have some type of feud and something. You can't just give us that match on a random Monday Night Raw that nobody watched. So
yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, but you just really like Bronson Reed, and that's okay. But that was a Raw worthy match that was really good. That I'm glad we got to see. I don't need to see that
Bronson
at WrestleMania.
Reed. I really feel like Bronson Reed is that guy.
Of course you do, but what has Bronson Reed done to deserve for that to be a WrestleMania event? You got to be like the man at some point.
That's why you got to build that man, boy. Build him up. Get him there.
That's what I'm saying, though. He hasn't had any build, so that's a good match.
So don't give us that match until he's built, until he's ready for it.
Oh, God. Why not? Why can't I see him lose?
Think of the golden era. That would be like giving us Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker on a Monday Night Raw. And this is early Brock Lesnar. This is very, very early Brock Lesnar. I'm not talking about Brock when he's the man beast and out there with Heyman just doing his thing. I'm talking about a month into his run, we're giving up Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, like right away on a random Monday Night Raw. It's like, no, build Brock Lesnar up, get him to that level, so when we get Undertaker versus Brock, we can get it in a real way. Don't just. So what
you're saying is Bronson Reed is an early Brock Lesnar.
He could be.
Whoa.
Look, I am a Bronson Reed advocate. Bronson Reed is a future world champion. Trust me. Trust me when I say it. Y'all might think I'm crazy, but Bronson Reed is a future world champion. That man can go. That man can go.
I believe he is.
Nah,
I don't
really
want to.
nice.
I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like I'm not a Bronson Reed appreciator. Right. I just think that was a good match. I enjoyed him having a classic with Gunther on Raw. That was an appropriate match.
And I want to see it. I want to see it again too. I want to see that further in the future. At this point, I kind of want Bronson to be one.
So would you want to see it 3 Raws in a row?
No, Triple H. Triple H. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't give me that match every single night. Because then the problem with that type of booking is that it doesn't feel important anymore. It's like once we get it the first time, yeah, cool, it's important. You give it to us a second time. If you build it right, it could be important. If you keep giving it to us over and over on like Raws and SmackDown, at that point it's like, all right, this match means nothing to me anymore. This is just another match. So you got to do better than that. Triple H, get it together. Tony Khan, get it together. But like always, I want to hear from y'all out there, man. How do y'all feel about the Booker of the Year? Is it Triple H? Is it Tony Khan? Is it HBK? Do you feel like Tony Khan is giving us too much too fast? Do you feel like Triple H is giving us not enough at all? Let us know down below.
At all?
I want to hear
Vince McMahon voice.
Yo. Vince McMahon. Hey, Vince was doing the same thing, by the way. Vince was giving us the same matches over and over and over and over.
Never forget, Vince tried to give us Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar for Stone Cold to lose on a random SmackDown, bro.
And you know what Stone Cold did?
Never
walked out.
He walked out. He said,
I'm
out of here.
I'm out. That's stupid. That's terrible booking. You ain't going to build me all the way up just to squash me.
That's crazy.
Terrible.
Hey, speaking of walking out, hold on. I know Sylvan was about to get into his topic, but like, since we're talking about Stone Cold walking out, bro. Yo, back in the day, remember when I used to work at Urban, bro?
Yeah.
I used to work at... Those out there who don't know, I used to work at Urban Outfitters, man. I was out there slinging clothes to the hoes. I was selling clothes.
Wow.
Man, this one dude, he came to work, right? And I was the men's team lead back then, so I was on my little power trip, you know what I'm saying? He came to work late. I tried to flex my power on him. I told him, I'm like, yo, you couldn't call us or nothing. Like, I'm flexing my power because I'm like, yo, you got to check in if you're going to be late. You can't just show up. That boy looked at me and walked right out the store. He never came back.
Bro.
And I still follow him on Snap. I still follow him on social media. So whenever he posts something, I watch the video. I'm just like, yo, I'll never forget this dude looked me dead in the face and just walked out of my job and just never came back.
That's
bro,
crazy.
I'm out, bro. It's like, I didn't want to be here anyways, bro. I'm out.
Hey, I don't blame him. I was on one. Hey, Cooley, Cooley was there with me at one point.
Yeah, man. Qwan got me in. He got me in. I was in there for like 2 months and did.
We was in there running plays.
Yeah.
Man, I never work at a clothes store, man. Y'all go through it all.
Y'all go through it all, bro.
Yeah, that was a terrible time. That was an awful time.
That's a lot.
Dog, never. I'll never do it, dog. Look, guys, I don't do this often, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this often at all, but it's time for me to apologize.
To me? To me?
Nah, not at all. I mean, whenever, maybe you know what? Maybe it might be an inadvertent apology to you, Qwan. It depends. It depends on how you take it. There's 2 people I want to apologize to. The first person, I'm just gonna get it out the way. You know, Ronda Rousey.
Whoa!
Whoa! This is sick.
Ronda, I want to apologize. I want to sincerely apologize. Despite how I feel about you, I realized that your return to wrestling was for a good cause. It was for charity. I wasn't trying to hear that last podcast. Qwan was trying to give me the game. Cooley was trying to give me the game. It was for a charity event, and it was for your support and your sister Athena. And I'm honestly just very passionate about wrestlers being passionate about what it is that they want to do. And despite all of that, I projected all of that negative energy onto you. And I want to say sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. And that I hope that this wrestling match that you have coming up in a few weeks is absolutely incredible. And all the proceeds are going to a great cause, a cause that you and your family are very passionate about. So I want to give you my claps, and my apologies. Let's get that out of the way. Now, the mad apology that I really got to get off, man, is to CM Punk.
Whoa, Philip.
CM Punk, I don't know if you watch this podcast. I don't know if you have us blocked at all.
We are blocked.
We are blocked.
Our podcast is blocked by CM Punk.
Blocked by CM Punk.
It wasn't like it wasn't a soft block. It was a hard block. He blocked my personal profile. He blocked everybody. He blocked us all.
I think I'm not blocked though. Man.
Yeah, he probably didn't say anything about you. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I think I am blocked. Well, nope. Nope. Yeah, we out here.
Blocked.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Boom. Shouts to you, Punk. Look, I know you are a straight edge guy, and that means that you could probably appreciate a sincere apology and appreciate when someone is wrong. And I am humbly coming to you to say that I was wrong. And I'm sorry. I was on this podcast going crazy. When you got fired, or no, I guess when you got fired, I'm not entirely sure how that. I'm gonna say that you were released. When you were released by Tony Khan and AEW, I called you a cancer. I called you every single word I could possibly think of, because I firmly believed in my heart that you were selfish and that you're only thinking about yourself. When the biggest main event or biggest event in wrestling history, quote unquote, was happening and we were all only talking about you. I called you selfish. I did a lot of things on this podcast.
You did enough to get blocked.
I did enough to get blocked. I told you that you needed to look in the mirror and decide who you were going to be. I was upset. I was upset because it had been 7 years and it seemed as if we weren't going to ever get a CM Punk that could just be in a wrestling company and fulfill his destiny, or at least just entertain us as wrestling fans, right? But boy, it's been 2 months since you've left? And my goodness, it seems as if the writings are on the wall. I look at AEW and I look at how they're moving, and it seems as if your presence was really a Band-Aid to the larger issues that are going on in that company with Tony Khan and AEW and those EVPs in the back. Now, I've always had my issues with AEW, Tony Khan, and the EVPs, but I firmly believed that you were moving in a way that maybe just wasn't allowing you to be the leader that you should have been. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. The reality of the sake. Let me bring this back.
The reality of the sake.
For the sake. Let me bring this back.
Get it together, my brother. It's a terrible apology.
I just want to focus on why I was wrong. I realized that you were very needed in AEW as a whole. And when you left, the writings have been completely written on the wall. The attendance is at a record low. A record low. The signings have been...
We're going to get to that later.
The main events at Dynamite, Collision have been massive with little to no payout, little to no build.
None.
I'm realizing, and Tony Khan has been spiraling publicly. It's very apparent to me that what you were dealing with behind the scenes was basic knowledge of how to do wrestling business in an efficient way. And you were dealing with a lot of people who just did not understand that philosophy. We saw it with Collision. When Collision was created and you had a real creative influence there, we saw how the product was moving.
It was the best wrestling show on TV.
It was the best wrestling show on TV for those 2 months, for that month or two, really. The vignettes that were being created, the builds that were being created, the wrestling matches that were being booked. It was efficient booking. Seeing how many people were attending these shows because you returned was incredible to see. I was overlooking it in the grand scheme of AEW's progress. But once you left, it was very apparent to me that a big part of the success of AEW was largely due to you. Largely. And I was so upset. I was so in my feelings that we were talking about you again instead of talking about AEW's success, that I closed a blind eye to the cracks that were really happening in AEW. And I shifted all the blame onto you. And I did that because of the history that I've seen with you in the past, quote unquote. I want to apologize because now I'm watching AEW and it's very apparent to me that without your influence, we're just looking at a company that's short-sighted, that doesn't want to do the hard work, that's literally making booking decisions off of a whim, and refuses to change their trajectory in order to be successful on the level that their potential could see. And I shifted all of it onto you. And so I'm a man that understands when he's wrong. And I have no problem being wrong because I'm fickle. And I'm fickle because that's life.
Hey.
So CM Punk, if you ever get a chance to watch this, I apologize. It was never about you. It was about Tony Khan and AEW. Now, Tony Khan, I get on this podcast, man, and I say a lot about you. I really do. I really do, man. And honestly, I don't really know what it is with you. I can theorize things. I can say you're comfortable. I can say you're a purist. I can say you're just not a great booker. I can say you're a fan and all of these things. But at the end of the day, I'm not sitting down with you. I don't know the pressures that you go through. I don't know who's talking to you. I don't know who has your trust. And I don't know what you believe equates to success. All I can say is that I do genuinely hope that things get better. And I believe that they will get better for AEW. I believe this is business. You go through your ups and downs. And WWE went through the same thing as they were climbing to their ascension, and then they came back down in the early 90s and had to figure things out and pivot over the course of the next 6 or 7 years. So I don't want to sit here and just blame you and say everything is completely wrong from a real standpoint. But I do think that there are just some real mistakes that are being made when I see some of the signings that are happening and some of the big matches that are being announced with little to no buildup. And despite that, we're seeing all of the lack of attendance that is happening on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis. Your pay-per-views aren't performing the way they usually do, and the interest isn't there. And quite honestly, man, I want you to do great. I want AEW to be great. But I don't have the answers. And so I will wrap this TED Talk up by saying that my patience will be at a higher level because of this situation with CM Punk. CM Punk, I want to thank you for allowing me to see the amount of patience that I need to have before making an assessment, an emotional reaction based off of history in the past that maybe I didn't really understand, because you made a tweet, or maybe it was an Instagram post.
It was an Instagram story.
And they said, people don't understand your worth. Sometimes people don't understand your worth until you remove yourself out of the equation. And my God, Punk, if that isn't the truest statement that I feel when it comes down to your involvement in AEW, I don't know what is. And that is my TED Talk. I apologize. Shouts to Anita Baker.
Speaking of that quote, I said that to all my exes. And you know, it's true. Fact. It's true. It's true. So shout out to CM Punk, man.
Yo, I was wrong, Punk.
Yo, CM Punk cooked AEW with that quote. I ain't gonna hold you.
Facts.
He said, "Y'all don't know what y'all had till it's gone."
Man,
bro,
it's insane, bro.
Those pictures
looks bad.
Those pictures of like empty seats. Oh my god, it's very dreadful just to watch, man. Oh my god. But we're gonna experience. We're gonna experience this, so we're gonna see.
We're gonna experience these half-empty arenas because we will be in the building for Full Gear on the 18th. Yeah, so man. If you see us, you come out, say what's up, man. Say what's up. I know we got a little community we building, so if you see us in the building, come say what's up because we really are AEW fans.
Punk is a needle mover.
Yes, he is.
All right, so look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. For one, let's talk about those empty arenas. I wouldn't say AEW's attendance is bad per se because they're doing like 3,000-4,000 people in these buildings. I mean, WWE was doing pretty much the same attendance a couple years ago when they hit their rough patch. So if you got 4,000 people, 5,000 people in the building, I can't laugh. I can't talk trash about it. But the problem is Tony Khan is booking these huge arenas. When you got 4,000 people in a 4,000 seat arena, it looks good. When you got 4,000 people crammed into a 20,000 seat arena, it just looks bad. It looks very bad because we know the capacity is much more than what you put in that arena. So when I see these pictures of a half empty arena, it's kind of hard not to laugh. It's kind of hard not to laugh because it looks so bad. Like the optics of it is bad. And we all know optics play a huge part in people's perception. Even if you're doing decent, like if you're selling a decent amount of tickets in these cities, the optics of those pictures is doing bad. So that's going to be the perception, and perception becomes reality. So Tony Khan, you got to book some different arenas, book smaller arenas, please.
Bruh.
Stay out of these NBA arenas because you're not filling them up and it looks bad.
I think it's an ego thing too as well because
facts.
Okay, so I feel like it's like a UK artist trying to do a stadium in the US. So let me take it back. Burner Boy. I know y'all know I love Burner Boy, man. That's my dog. I went to see him 2 years ago. I saw him at the Bowl. It was fire. It was lit. So look check it out. He has a concert tomorrow at the BMO Stadium. It's a soccer stadium. A lot of seats. I checked for tickets because I was, thinking about going. Bruh, it's so many empty seats, and I'm surprised he didn't cancel the show. So I feel like he's doing something that's too big for what he really is, because a soccer stadium, that's a lot of seats, bro. So now it's to the point that he's doing a buy one get one 50% off right now. Like it's crazy, bro. So he should have did like a little, crypto arena, something like that.
Seeing buy one get one free for a wrestling ticket, it's embarrassing. Like as an AEW fan, watching WWE fans laugh at the buy one get one is like, it's embarrassing because you're never gonna see WWE giving away tickets like that. Like you're never gonna see WWE saying, "Hey, if you buy this Raw ticket, we'll give you 2 of them for free." Like that just looks bad. That looks desperate. It's okay to perform in the Novo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to perform at the Hollywood Bowl or whatever. You don't have to be at Allegiant Stadium. You don't have to be in Staples Center or Crypto. It's still Staples Center to us. We from LA, so it's Staples. But you ain't gotta perform in the Crypto arena. You can do the Novo and it's fine. You can do the Wiltern and it's fine. Like I don't know why Tony Khan keeps booking these huge arenas and only putting 3,000 people in them seats.
It's also like a ego. It's an ego blow because when you're starting off with arenas, and then you have to make the decision to downsize to the public, it looks as if this isn't going well, so it must not be doing that well. But it doesn't matter, in my opinion. I feel like if you're, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You should be focusing on yourself and your growth and what you need to do and what you don't need to do. At the end of the day, if you can say that your show is sold out, that's the point, right? Like as an artist, if I can't sell out 1,000-room venue, it serves me no purpose to be there. If I can sell out a 200-person venue, I have a sold-out show. That feels good. It's optics. The same way that it's just optics, man. Like I think they need to kind of let go of the ego and make the decisions that's best for the company.
We just saw it with the Bound for Glory. TNA's Bound for Glory had much less fans than AEW's recent show had, but you know what? They had a venue that was appropriate for that amount of people, so the pictures looked good. Versus AEW with like half the arena empty, so it's like, come on, man, Tony Khan. But we do got to remember, a lot of these venues were booked like a year in advance, so Tony probably booked these venues under the assumption that CM Punk would be on the roster and they would be doing their thing. So there's that.
Yikes.
Yeah, we also don't know the optics of what those deals are, and to cut those deals, and it could be disastrous. Right. So maybe he's doing the best that he can.
Right. And just to speak to the topic at hand, which was we went off on a tangent on that attendance, but like, damn, that attendance be looking bad. But just to get back to Sylvan's awful apology to Tony Khan and CM Punk. Look, man,
to CM Punk, not to Tony Khan.
Yeah, look, Sylvan was wrong, but Sylvan wrong about a lot, man. He came in here the other week and he said Orange Cassidy should be the face of AEW. And then I had to sit back and watch Orange Cassidy have the least watch segment on the last two shows. Like, that's
wonder
the face
why
of AEW.
He's being booked terribly. That's why.
Still right. Okay, but here's the thing. I do think that Tony Khan made the best decision for his product possible. At the end of the day, it's like CM Punk is a star. I would love for CM Punk to still be around. Hopefully we do see CM Punk return. I don't know, AEW, Impact, WWE, wherever he lands. I want to see him return. But at the end of the day, Tony Khan was losing the locker room. The entire locker room did not want CM Punk there. Outside of like FTR, Brody King, and like a couple others, that locker room wasn't rocking with CM Punk. So at the end of the day, Tony Khan, as a leader, he had to make the best decision for that locker room. And if getting rid of CM Punk was the decision, so be it. It's like when Russell Westbrook was a Laker. I loved Russell Westbrook. I'm sure LeBron and AD and everyone in that locker room loved Russell Westbrook, but it was at the point where it wasn't working. It just wasn't working. People were like getting attitudes with each other during games, and you could see it like physically on the sidelines of people side-eyeing each other and not talking. It was at the point where somebody had to go. And there's no hard feelings. Like, we still love Russ. I hope Russ is doing well with the Clippers, but at the end of the day, it wasn't working on his team, and we had to cut him from the equation. That's the CM Punk situation. We just had to cut Punk from the equation. And
he didn't do well this week because we all saw that overtime. But shout out to Russell Westbrook for sure.
He was out there turning the ball over with like 24 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, I don't miss that at all. I'm sorry. I love Russ. I don't miss that. As a Laker fan, I do not miss that, man. I don't miss that at all.
I think that's also a testament to the culture that Tony Khan has bred. At any given point, your locker room shouldn't be more influential than the person who's heading it. Vince McMahon is not a slave to the.
That was a bar.
Vince McMahon is not a slave to his locker room. The locker room is not more important than Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon calls the shots. He decides what needs to be done. There may be locker room leaders, but there's a certain culture that Tony Khan has cultivated that's really toxic, that pushes away somebody who's coming in and basically is trying to implement basic structure, basic understanding of wrestling booking for profitable sales. It's the same reason why William Regal couldn't stay around. So you got to decide, was CM Punk the issue, or is just the culture toxic that he was in? And I think the culture was just toxic that he was in, because we're seeing it. It's not the product isn't doing better since CM Punk has left. It's just that the culture is able to thrive the same way that it was before he got there. And we're seeing the results of that culture because they've gone back to the same mistakes that they've had all along. And it's highly unfortunate. It's not going to work this time. So I really hope, I really want Tony Khan to figure this thing out. I truly do, because I really do like AEW, and I think the matches that they do put on, even though they have little to no build, are incredible. You can't take that away from them, man. It's cinema.
Right.
But what can you say?
Hey, those matches would be a lot better with build, though. Just saying.
A lot better. Vignettes. I really enjoyed those 2 months of vignettes on Collision, man. Like the importance of Samoa Joe versus a CM Punk and how they emphasized that and what it meant for CM Punk to actually win. You know what I mean? Going back 15 years into the past. That's the type of stuff I want to see. That's stuff that I would like to see on Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
To be honest, but only one could dream.
And they would the thing is, they would emphasize main events throughout the show. Like the opening segment would build towards that main event, and we would see it sprinkled throughout the entire show. But these days, AEW main events are just like random 3-man tag matches, and it's like no prior interactions before it. It's just like they come out during the main event and have a good match, and it's like, all right, that was good, but so get it together, man. But look, I want to hear from y'all at home, man. Did Tony Khan make the right decision in firing CM Punk? Was choosing the morale of the locker room the right decision? Or, is CM Punk right in saying that people don't know what they have until it's gone? Did Tony Khan make a mistake in firing his biggest star for the sake of a couple young guys in the locker room? Let me know. Let me know, because I don't know where I stand with this at this point. I'm kind of on the fence. I see both sides, but I don't know where to land. I really don't know where to land.
Let me land.
And you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Shout out to Boo.
I want to have Boo Capone on this. Hey, Boo Capone, there's a wrestling connection there. Boo Capone, he did a song with the West Side Connection on that Ruthless. What was it? The WWF album, Ruthless Aggression.
Was it Ruthless Aggression?
Was it Aggression? It might have just been
Aggression.
But like I know Boo Capone did the Big Show theme with like Mac 10 and like the West Side Connection. So look, Boo Capone is tapped in with wrestling. Yo, Boo Capone, come on this podcast, man. I want to talk to you. We'll let you land. I promise. We'll let you land. Cooley looking it up. It was Aggression. I remember it was WWE Aggression because they had the Method Man joint.
I was just talking to him about that too, like some weeks ago. It was Aggression. It was Aggression.
It was
2000. Sheesh.
They had that hard ass Gangrel theme.
Yeah,
hey,
that's crazy.
Not the watch. Fellas. Let's talk about this young talent. I think we would all agree that pro wrestling is probably at its peak right now as far as the talent in the game. This is the most talented era that we've seen probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want to know from y'all, who got next? I
told y'all. I already told y'all who got next like months ago.
But wait. But let me explain though. This is a two-sided question. Because I want to know who got next in terms of being that next breakout star to really be the guy, to really be like world champion and selling tickets. But I also want to know who got next from that young crop that just hasn't really, hit their mark yet. But it's like, you know what? This person might be on to something. They might break out in the next year. I want to know who that is for y'all. Because for me, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. Y'all gonna think I'm insane. But you know who I think got next? Jack Perry. I think Jungle Boy Jack Perry has next, man. Look at Sylvan's face. Hear me out. Why was CM Punk fired from AEW? Answer the question. This is not rhetorical. I'm asking. Why was CM Punk fired?
Because Jack Perry went against CM Punk's
on live TV
advisory on live TV and used real glass.
Do fans love CM Punk or do they hate him? They love him, right? He's like one of the most loved wrestlers like in the world, right?
Yeah, he is.
Both.
Yo, listen. Right now, Jack Perry is serving a suspension. But when that man is back, trust me when I say this, he is going to be a heat magnet. If y'all think that Dominic Mysterio's boos are loud, when Jack Perry pop his little pompous, arrogant ass out there with a smirk on his face, knowing that the reason most people tuned into this company is gone because of him, he's going to be a mega heel. And if AEW is smart, they run with that. I could see Jack Perry being AEW World Champion in the next year just because I think that he's going to be mega over as far as a heel. So I think Jack Perry has next as far as that next crop to really reach the top. But as far as breakout stars in the next year, again, this might sound a little crazy to y'all. Might sound a little insane, but I got to admit, I like what I'm seeing from him so far. That boy Lexus King, a.k.a. Brian Pillman Jr. Yo, tell me I'm lying. These promos that he's spitting on NXT right now, I see it. And I see Twitter. I see people trying to trash him and say that, yo, he ain't got the aura, but no.
Who doesn't?
Lexi King. All right. Give me a year. Give him a year and let's see where he's at. He's 6'2". He got height on him. He got a good look. He has an incredible look, actually. He looks exactly like his dad. And this character that they giving him, it's working. It's rocking. the PC has done wonders for Brian Pillman Jr. Man, I'm 100% stock in on Lexi King. I'm here. Lexus King, you the one.
That's cool.
Lexus King is just, I'm not his father. That's literally his gimmick. I'm not my father. Hey, it's not a gimmick to me. That's just an angle.
That's a spin. It's a spin. It's a spin on, because it's a spin on the whole second generation thing or third generation thing. Everyone does this is Randy Orton and his father is Cowboy Bob Orton and he's a second generation. But you know what? He's doing the same thing, but he's giving it a twist. He hates his father. He don't want to be his father. But while they're doing that, it's kind of a dog whistle because they're letting you know who his father is. So it's like, I see what they're doing. They playing the game, and I'm in on it. I like it. I like it.
It's not interesting enough to me.
Yeah,
I think
that now.
It's not, the angle in general is not interesting enough to me. Like I think he has decent promo skills. I think he's okay in the ring. I don't think he's gonna be that guy in a year. I think he needs 2 or 3 years, honestly. I think he needs time to figure out what he is beyond that. Like, you saying you're not your father is cool. That's cool for a year.
You clearly haven't been watching NXT then, because if you think that's all the basis of his promos, then you clearly ain't been watching, because that boy is cutting them. He cutting the promos, man.
I'm not saying that's the basis
Cooley,
of
you saw Halloween Havoc. That boy was sitting there talking.
I'm not saying that's the basis of his promos. I'm saying that's the basis of his character right now. I care. You know what makes me upset about y'all is that y'all don't have a real clear indication of what character is. Y'all focus on potential.
I think you don't have
that's right.
No,
that's right.
No, we about to talk about this.
I'm not finishing my thought. I'm not done with my thought. I'm not done with my thought.
Y'all
are invested in potential. Y'all are invested in what could be. And every time I say somebody doesn't have a character, everyone looks at me like I'm crazy.
You clearly don't know what a character is.
What is his character, Qwan?
Sylvan
Qwan, what's his character? What's his character?
He's Brian Pillman's son, and he hates his father. That's a character.
Exactly. It's not enough. It's not enough of a character. It's not enough.
Look,
that's all I'm saying.
Can I speak? Sylvan continuously confuses character and gimmick. They are not the same. If a guy comes out as the Pizza Man, that's not a character. That's just him doing a goddamn gimmick. That's not a character. The Undertaker was a gimmick. It's a gimmick. Orange Cassidy's whole lazy hands in a pocket thing, that's a gimmick. Character is traits. Character is the way you speak, the way you compose, the way you carry yourself, the aura you give off when you're around. That's what a character is. It's not just a gimmick. Triple H's character was that he was the cerebral assassin. That wasn't a gimmick. A gimmick would be Kane with a mask and fucking fire. Oh, my bad for cussing, but I was fired up. But that's a gimmick. There's a difference between character traits and a gimmick.
What is his character?
Lexi King doesn't have a gimmick, but he has character. If you actually watch
does he have a character though?
Yes, watch him. Watch his promos. Watch his entrance. He comes out on a king's throne wearing a crown, and the throne slides across the stage. He's
November
giving
3rd.
You character. He's not giving you a gimmick. I know that you like gimmicks.
How many times have we seen? All right, how many times have we seen that character before?
What he's doing? None. I haven't seen a character like Lexi King. I haven't seen a character like Lexus King. Give me one.
A wrestler who is not his father?
Give me a wrestler who is hella arrogant and hates their father.
Dom.
Oh, you got me. I ain't gonna hold
Why I sit on his podcast and I listen to y'all. No. I sit on his podcast and I listen to y'all try to discredit me and my eye and my thoughts and my vision. And I fully understand what you mean by the difference between a gimmick and a character. And I'm not confusing the both. In fact, I think a gimmick can hold you back. But you can have characteristics and not have a character, i.e. Austin Theory. Great characteristics. But he doesn't have a character. I don't know who Austin Theory is. Nobody in the world could tell you who Austin Theory is. You could say he's brash. You could say he's arrogant.
Character? What's his character? He's
the mega star.
That's not a character. That's a moniker. That's a nickname. That's not a character. What is he talking about? And let's be clear.
I don't know what LA Knight is.
Let's just be clear. Dominic Mysterio and Lexis King are not the same. Yeah, they both hate their father, but their characters, it's not even close to being the same. Dominic Mysterio has a gimmick. He's an ex-con. That's his gimmick. He comes out with a tattoo. He comes out with a bulletproof vest on. Like, he is ex-con Dom, Dirty Dom. That's a gimmick. Lexis King is not that. So let's not sit here and pretend like Lexis King is doing his best Dominic Mysterio impression.
I didn't say that. You asked me a question and I answered. You said, tell me who has a gimmick or a character that's like this. And I told you who has one that's doing it better. Clearly. I'm not discrediting the difference between a gimmick and a character at all. Like I said before, I think a gimmick can hold you back if it's not transferred into a character. There was a gimmick with The Undertaker, right? Undertaker made that gimmick into a character. Now, there's a difference between having characteristics and having a character. A character means I know who you are. Characteristics, everybody has. Anybody can have characteristics. That doesn't mean you have a character. That doesn't mean I know who you are. That doesn't mean I know what you do. That's all I'm saying.
So
I'm
Megastar is a character?
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And he's made it into a character. But nobody's claimed it, and he made it into his own character, and he's gotten it over.
Okay.
And y'all can shit on and I'm sorry for cussing. And y'all can dump on LA Knight all y'all want because
we love LA Knight.
I like LA Knight.
Every time I bring up LA Knight, y'all dump on him because he's old. Because he's 41 years old and he's not 24 trying to find himself. Once again, I have to defend what's going. Yo, what did Hope say? I got now. I don't care who got next. You bring up these who's got next, and I say I don't care who's got next. You come to me when you figured it out a little bit. So when you bring these people up, like Alexis King, when I'm like, he's cool. He's got some characteristics. He can cut promos. I like the fact that he's saying, okay, I'm not my pops, but it's not enough. It's not a character. It's just characteristics.
You realize we're 2 weeks into his run. Like,
I understand.
I get it. Let's give it some time.
And that's what I know. But you're saying a year from now. I'm saying, give him 3 years. He needs about 2 to 3 years. Oh, my
God. See, this is Sylvan's problem. Sylvan's problem is that he's not able to see beyond what's happening in front of him right now. I remember when
Who cares to see beyond what's happening right now?
Listen. I feel like DJ Khaled. Listen. Listen. When LA Knight, a.k.a. Max Dupree, first popped up on the scene with the Maximum Male models, I hit the group chat and I said, hey, yo, Eli Drake just appeared on SmackDown. Y'all don't understand. This man got next. He can cut promos. He's the one. And you know what Sylvan said?
Don't you lie on this. Don't you lie
Sylvan
on this group chat,
Sylvan looked at that
Qwan.
text and he said,
don't you lie on this. No.
Who is this? Like, this is trash. Sylvan trashed it. Sylvan trashed it. I got the screenshot.
Okay.
I got the proof. I got the proof.
All right, here we go. No, Qwan, you have revisionist. You have revisionist history because before he debuted, you were telling me about LA Knight, aka Eli Drake, when he was on NXT, and I said verbatim, I don't care about LA Knight on NXT. We'll see what he looks like when he's on the main roster. Then he came to the main roster, and I hit the group chat. I said, impressed. Hey, yo. You weren't impressed. I said, hey, yo, who's this Eli? I said, yo, who is this LA Knight guy? He's cutting promos. He's kind of crazy. And you were like, oh, yo, I've been telling you about him. Well, then I tell you about him when he was in NXT, and I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. That was the whole premise. I did not go. Bring it up.
Hey,
bring it up. I remember.
So look,
that's a long time to go to the group chat, low key. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's gonna be a long time.
My point is, if we would have had that conversation then on this podcast, you know what you would have told me? You would have told me the same things you're telling me about Lexis King. You would have said, I don't care about his potential and who he is. What is he now? He's Max Dupree. This ain't a character. I don't like this. That's what Max Dupree is, a character. And I would have been trying to tell you, wait a minute, slow your roll. This Eli Drake guy is actually next because he has so much character. He's fire. And you would have shit on it. And then 8 months from then, you would have saw what I saw. But you're so stuck in what you see right now that you're not able to look in the past. You're not able to look in the future. You are a victim of the now. now.
Nope. In fact, number one, all we got is the now. That's just philosophy. Number two, I liked Eli. I liked Eli Drake. I keep calling him Eli Drake.
Hey, I mean that was the day. That's the day.
Eli,
hey now.
Hey now.
I liked Max Dupree when he came on as the leader of the Maximum Male Models. I thought he was fire. I thought he was cool. And I remember hitting the group chat and being like, yo, bro, who is this? And you were like, yo, that was LA Knight. I told you he was gonna cook. And I'm like, yeah, this gimmick is kind of insane, but he's cooking. Like you know you see who he is. Like he's got the potential. I like him. Now, I will be honest, right? There are certain people that I will see potential in. And when I see potential in someone, I'm gonna be biased. Now, I'm not saying there isn't potential and this guy Alexis King. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what he's exuding to me right now isn't enough. Like I'm not interested.
You've been cutting some fire.
Yeah, I'm just not interested enough.
Look, Cooley.
I can see Qwan's angle on Alexis. I can see it. Like, you know, I just gotta give it time. You gotta let things play out. And as far as Jack Perry, I think it's gonna be some big heat when he comes back. I do believe that, but my breakout star is different, though. I will say that. And also, did y'all see on the internet where people thought that the dude behind the mask on Dynamite was Jack Perry? Did y'all hear that? You didn't see that?
Whoa! Yeah. Oh, you mean the devil? The devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people were speculating it. Some people were speculating.
People thinking that Jack
but
Perry.
A lot of people are thinking it's Jack Perry now.
I'm with that.
That would be crazy.
Woo!
Oh, it's a great reveal.
But my breakout star is Trick.
With that Trick, I knew it.
Yeah, Trick, man. For the next year, Trick and Wesley, man. Those are my two. Because Wesley, you know, he's been gone for a minute. And I feel like he gonna get his time like real soon. He gonna be in that little Ricochet bubble, man. I feel
like Trick Williams ain't even breaking out. I feel like he here. I feel like he the one at this point. We all see it.
So we got breakout, and then what's the other? The future.
So the future. So just they're both breakout, but I want to know a guy who's going to break out and just be world champion like right now.
Okay,
like he's on that cusp.
Oh,
and then someone who's like younger, bubbling up, but they haven't really reached who they are yet, and they might within the next like 5 years.
The cusp world champion that I see right now. Even though I don't really care for it, I do think we're going to see Damian Priest as world champion soon.
Yeah, he's waiting.
I think that's just like. I think that's the plan. I think Hunter is trying to find the right time where I think Damian's going to be the first new world champion. That's what I really feel like. As far as the future,
he's gonna try to find the oldest white man he can think of, and you know, Sylvan.
He'll say Ric Flair,
man. Ric Flair, the future, who's somebody who's bubbling, who I feel like is gonna break out in the next couple years.
Oh, what's the name? Dragunov.
I wanna say.
Oh yeah, Ilya Dragunov
what?
Is for sure.
Yeah, Dragunov. That
boy, once he makes it to that, once he makes to that main roster, he's out of here.
Yes,
he might be the one to dethrone Gunther. To be honest, he might be the one to dethrone Gunther.
Dragunov is crazy, dog.
The next breakout, man, I had him in my mind. I was just thinking about him. I low-key forgot about him.
Hey, before you get that thought, I just want to bring up something because you know we were just arguing right now about you not being able to see the future because you're always so stuck in the present. I got another one for you. It's a man I brought to the group chat. His name is Grayson Waller. I said, yo. Grayson Waller.
I don't like Grayson Waller, but that's
now you don't like Grayson. Hey, he's trying to save face. He's trying to save face. I think
Grayson
Waller. No. Grayson Waller's incredible.
No. I think he is incredible. I think he's the one, but I don't like him.
Because when I introduced Grayson Waller to the group chat, and I said, "Yo, this dude can talk his talk. He's nice. He's gonna be next." Sylvan said, I hate people with accents.
I do. That's everybody though, dog. That's everybody. Come on, man.
Accent. I don't like him,
bro. I don't like Drew McIntyre because of his accent. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I just don't. That's just me though. And wrestling community. Just know I'm just a messed up type of dude. Like this is totally. I'm delusional. That's
this
just
is our
me.
jokes, by the way. This is not. We don't hate nobody over it.
It has nothing to do with how incredible they are. Grayson Waller is 10 out of 10. Let's not get it confused. My opinion of him does not dispute the fact that he is the one, and Qwan is right. So there's that. Look, man, breakout. I know y'all. I know. Look,
we gotta get into the rundown, man. Give us a name.
I know. Y'all gotta flip when I say this name too, man.
Oh,
snap. Y'all gotta flip when I say this name, and it's okay. Breakout for me, honestly, it's gonna be Cedric Alexander.
All right, so the next part of the show is my favorite part of the show. It's called Cooley's Rundown, man.
Nah, look, when I saw Cedric Alexander last week, man.
First live show.
First live show in a very long time. And I see a grit in him. I see a grit in him that he didn't have before. And he, of course, he put on a great match. But I feel like, man, when it comes down to like singles, when it comes down to young single black stars, there's not a lot on the roster. And I think if Cedric Alexander is really given a certain chance to establish himself as a single star, I think he could surprise all of us. And I want to also, this is my apology run, because I went off on Cedric Alexander for how he was feeling about pro wrestling when he made that tweet. But we haven't seen Cedric Alexander in a long time be a single star, try to prove himself on the main roster. When we really think about it, he was part of a faction. He was doing 205 for a long time. Like, he hasn't been on his own, and they kept him around when they could have let him go through a round of releases. And last week he showed me that there might be something there with the right equipment. So I think in a year or two, if they really push the button on Cedric, he could be a breakout star. That's who was in my mind.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
We all love Cedric Alexander.
Facts.
And the reason, just to let y'all know, the reason we reacted like that is because Sylvan has some not so nice things to say about Cedric Alexander once upon a time.
On the pod.
Him say that was on the pod. So hearing him say that was just like, word.
No, it's for real though. It's because last week I really saw this dude had a grit. He seemed like he had a certain tenacity to him, and he also seemed like he had
a lot too.
He's bulked up a lot, had a lot of edge, and he was incredible in the ring. I'm like, oh, you know what? We don't have a lot of single stars. We don't have a lot of single black wrestling stars right now, and he's young. He's still young. So, and I had to really go back in my mind and be like, well, when has Cedric really had a chance to have the ball in his court as a single star in the main roster?
Yeah,
like for real. I am judging prematurely. So I think if he's given a real chance in a year or two, he could be a breakout star.
Sylvan's first young star. Let's clap it up, man.
I know, finally. I was expecting him to say like I was definitely expecting him to say LA Knight. Just man loves LA Knight. But
LA Knight is already the one. He's going for the title.
He's the present. So he might be the fake. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Whoa.
He might be the one. He might really be the one. But look, I want to hear from y'all, man. Let us know down below who you think the next breakout stars are in pro wrestling, not just WWE, but wrestling as a whole. I say Jack Perry. I say Lexis King. Cooley says Trick Williams. And Sylvan says Cedric Alexander, surprisingly.
And Damian Priest.
Very surprising answer. Damian Priest. Oh, and Cooley said Ilya Dragunov. He's the one. But I want to hear from y'all. Who do y'all think the next breakout stars are in wrestling?